Hello Virgo, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If you're watching this video, this reading was meant to find you. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And you are the sun. I feel like you're a very vibrant person right now. I feel like you're really in your confidence. I feel like you are kind of happy to be who you are, you know? And I think that you're kind of the center of attention right now in your life. Maybe you don't always like that, but I feel like right now you're like stepping up. You're like organizing things. You're the one that's like putting together the event, or like you're getting everybody together. You're kind of running the show. Yeah. You're being a leader. I think you have a lot of charisma. You have a lot of light and a lot of life and a lot of love to give the world. Be careful that you're not giving out too much of yourself without taking anything in, or without a break, or without help, or without rest. Okay? I think you're more confident now than usual. So I feel like you've got to be in your element somewhere. You've got to be like doing something that you know you're good at. And so your confidence is rising and your enthusiasm is high. And I think you're having a good time doing it, whatever it is. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. I also feel like a lot of people rely on you. Yeah. I feel like you have to kind of be the sunshine for a lot of people. And so I wonder if there's kind of like an optimism in you, or if there's like a really supportive energy where when other people are feeling low, you're the one that kind of comes in and cheers everybody up. You know. You got to be careful with that, though. I think it's a very good quality, but you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself as well. Okay? And there's the Queen of Pentacles, and there is your superpower card. So this really is like your goal for the week, or like your challenge, your homework for today is to take better care of yourself. Okay? Make sure that that your own needs are getting met as well. Here we have the Wheel of Fortune. We've got the Two of Pentacles, a Three of Wands, and a Seven of Cups. We have a Two of Swords, a Two of Wands, 2, 2, and 2. So really, that's the number of change. Okay, 2 is the number of, well, it's change, yes, but it's kind of like practical wisdom, functional wisdom with the 2. Okay, and the Empress, and the Temperance card. Okay, so the Empress is in the position of your fear, worry, and concern, because I think that it's not easy for you to relax. It's not easy for you to feel like you don't have to control everything or do everything. Are you micromanaging? Are you feeling like you've got to be the one responsible for putting everything together and doing everything, rather than like delegating, or just sort of like just surrendering and just saying, I can't control everything and I just got to go with the flow? I've got to, like, you know, focus on comfort and stability and security. Focus on your own health as well. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right here. with our little sea turtle friend. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments right below the video. Now, as we look around the room here, we see 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana cards. We've got fire, fire, a little bit of water, not enough and not the right kind. Okay, we've got some air, and I think that's a good air to have, good stable air. And then we've got our earth card. Okay. So anyway, the sun, this is somebody that is always radiating their light outward. I think you really are in this type of mode where you're trying to be everything for everyone. I think some people are taking you for granted. I think that, people know that they can sort of get close to you and they'll feel better. Because you're radiating this light. And this light and this love and this warmth, And I think people are attracted to that. I think that people are especially attracted to that when they need that, So you have this ability to comfort other people and to uplift other people. And I think that's wonderful. I think that your challenge right now is to also protect your resources, to feel like it's okay for you to stop always being everything for everyone or providing everything for everyone. The Queen of Pentacles is a very functional wisdom as well, kind of learning from the past in order to make good decisions moving forward. So I think that you're protecting yourself more. You're paying more attention to your resources. Now, maybe this is financial, maybe this is your health, maybe this is your time, your effort, whatever those resources are. Protecting your resources, because if you completely empty out your cupboards, there will be nothing left with which to feed the masses anyway. So you've got to protect your energy. Okay? You've got to prioritize your body. Prioritize your home, food, rest, environment, comfort, warmth. Okay? With that sun card, I feel like it's a lot of energy being radiated outward. This is about your sacred space at home. This is you and your body and what you need. And maybe that sun is like everybody else is enjoying the fruit of your labor. The Queen of Pentacles wants to enjoy some of that too. Okay? Make your personal space supportive of you. Keep it organized, keep it cozy. And you're still going to offer, material support to other people. But you're protecting your foundation. You're protecting your energy. Okay? Lean into any kind of routines right now that may make your life easier, that may be more sustainable or make life more gentle or even bring more healing to your physical body. Trust your instincts when it comes to choosing healthy things. Okay? Real things that are going to give you life. The sun is the source of all life. And you're that for other people. You need to understand what you're absorbing into your body. Especially as we move forward with the Seven of Cups, okay? So I feel like there's a need for you to prioritize comfort, prioritize home, prioritize physical well-being, health, and self-care. And remember that being a resource for other people and caring for other people needs to also include caring for yourself. Okay? What would it look like for you to mother your own life a bit more right now? Okay? You're making your life more livable. And I think this is the work for you. And this is the challenge for you as well. Which is very much echoed by the Empress in the position of the fear or the anxiety, because I feel like you're the one that's always feeding others with not too much concern about what you're eating. But this is the work for you right now, okay? Now, the Wheel of Fortune underneath the surface, this is an energy, this is a Jupiter energy. This is very expansive. This is an energy of divine timing. It's a card that is all about faith, hope, and trust, you know. I wonder if this is sort of your belief that you just need to keep radiating your light and the universe will take care of you, you know. Kind of trusting in, trusting in that divine timing that may lead us to not prioritize ourselves because we're expecting kind of karma to come back around and we'll be taken care of. It's kind of like if I take care of everybody else, then, you know, all of that good karma is going to come back to me and I'll be taken care of, you know. And sometimes we expect that to happen. But I feel like this is one of those like trust in God but tie your camel moments, especially with that Two of Wands, because Spirit is saying that you've got to take action. You've got to advocate for yourself. You've got to control what you can control while at the same time trusting in the universe. But this might be someone who just kind of believes, has faith, that if I just do good things will come to me. And yes, I believe that they will. But I believe you also have to be discerning. I believe you also have to make choices, and you have to be responsible for your behavior and the way that you respond to the world. In other words, we can't be too passive and just think, well, you know, and what if this is about another person? We just think, well, I'm always taking care of this person that, you know, I'm going to choose to believe that one day they'll take care of me. But it doesn't always work that way. Okay? It's kind of the same thing as like, well, I've put in all of this work at my company. I've given all of myself to them. I've taken such good care of them. I've given them so many years of my life, and I know that they're going to take care of me too, until they don't. You know? Until we realize that we honestly had no reasonable expectation that, you know, it's kind of like you put in a lot of hours, a lot of years with a company, and then they lay you off. And it's like, well, how does that make sense? You know? It's not saying it's fair, and it's not saying that we deserve it or anything. But I think that that's what this card's trying to illustrate here. You have a lot of faith and a lot of trust in other people, in the universe, and I think Spirit's saying that's good. But you also need to make sure that you're like, you know, that you're reinforcing the things that you need. Okay, that you're taking some control and you're taking some responsibility for those things rather than just having what might be called blind faith. Yeah. But this is a good card to have under the surface here. Because you are somebody that tends to understand, like, okay, what goes around comes around. If I do good deeds, good things are going to come my way. Yeah. And that's a wonderful faith to have. We have to know how to handle life when it doesn't quite work that way, because it won't always work that way. Okay? Just because you are a very virtuous person doesn't mean everybody else in the world is. Okay? And so I believe that we need to treat other people the way we want to be treated. We have to do good deeds in our lives and just trust that the universe is going to send that back to us when we're in need. Yeah. We have to believe, we have to operate that way. But we also have to know how to deal with life when life throws us something else. Okay? Because not everybody is as virtuous as you. Now, looking in the recent past, we've got that Two of Pentacles. And to me, this feels like a lot of juggling, a lot of shifting of things around. I feel like there was probably in the recent past a lot of support that you offered somebody, maybe financial support, or this was you rearranging your life in order to help somebody else, or this was you juggling a lot of things at work because they asked you to and they needed you and you showed up, because that's the kind of person you are. Okay, so this is when life really asks you to like put in double the effort, double time, you know, where you really had to, you know, either shuffle your resources around, make space for other people, help someone else financially, put in extra hours or extra effort and energy at work, or to help somebody else, or to help somebody move, or whatever it could have been. In other words, you inconvenienced your life. You spent a little extra of your time, effort, energy, money, space, and spirit to help somebody else. And I think that Wheel of Fortune is you kind of expecting that to come back around and help you when you need it. Okay. And the Three of Wands is your virtue. Three of Wands is you doing the difficult thing because it's the right thing to do. That you are okay being inconvenienced as long as your behavior sort of aligns with your principles. I think you're somebody with a very well-defined, like spiritual compass. And I think that there is faith here that your virtue is going to be repaid. And yeah, I do believe that it is, but I also feel that the universe will put the right people, places, and things on your path, but you have to know how to engage with those things. And that's going right back to our Wheel of Fortune with this Two of Wands. Okay, this is you out there in the world, asserting yourself, making decisions, okay, being proactive, taking responsibility. This is you out there controlling everything that you're capable of controlling. The Wheel of Fortune is you kind of accepting everything else. So change what you can change, accept everything else as just being divine timing. These two cards have to work together. Spirit will put the right people, places, and things on your path. You have to go out there into the world and engage those things. Spirit will put you in the right place at the right time, but you've got to act. Okay, having one without the other is missing half the equation. Yeah. And so you've got both of these energies, and I think that's a fantastic combination. And you are a very virtuous person. I feel that if somebody were to ask you for help, you're right there showing up for people. You know, without the expectation that they're going to like pay you back or like, okay, I'll do you this favor, but next week you got to do me a favor. No. I feel like you're doing something because for you that's integrity. That's the right thing to do. And having that sort of, maybe it's like a spiritual belief that like the universe will provide. The universe will take care of me. I'm going to continue to do what I believe is the right thing, and I'm going to trust that I'm going to be taken care of. And yeah, that's good, but we can't just sit on our hands and wait. Okay? So going into the future position, the very near future, this is the realization that somebody isn't treating you the way you are treating them. Okay, the Seven of Cups is something that usually is masquerading as something very pleasant and very healthy and very nourishing. But then when we really need it, it just turns to sand, it turns to swamp, it turns to just yuck, right? This is like we think we have that beautiful apple on the kitchen counter, and we say, okay, well, I don't have to worry about being hungry because I know I got that apple on the counter. And then when we're really hungry, We go and we get that apple, and it's just rotten inside. It looks nice on the outside, but it's rotten. Then we think, oh, I can't eat that. Okay? Something is leaving you kind of high and dry almost. But I think that this is why really Spirit is saying that right now it's important for you to focus on your self-care, your physical environment, your resources, your well-being, because you can't rely on somebody else to do it for you. And I think that in the very near future, somebody's going to reveal their true colors to you. That you will see that somebody is not as supportive of you as you are of them. And that does not feel good. There is not enough water in this reading, okay? And part of that, part of this absence of water is really this idea that what you think is going to be there is not there. And so you need to start taking some proactive steps now to make sure that you are taken care of and that you are nourished. Maybe we're talking about love. Maybe we're talking about financial support or financial stability. Okay. Maybe we're thinking, okay, well, you know what? Someone will be there. I trust that what I need is going to be there when I need it. But then you turn around and you realize, oh, crud, it's not there. Okay? And that's kind of what we're talking about. So that's why your mission right now is to make sure that you've got what you need. Don't just expect it to be there. Don't trust that it is going to just show up, or don't trust that somebody else is going to bring it when you need it. I would rather be proactive and make sure I've got everything that I need, and then as we move forward, I find out I got extra. Okay, that's good. I'd rather have it and not need it than just have this kind of trust that someone else is bringing it. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of the meaning of that Seven of Cups. That's nothing that we can nourish ourselves on. And if that's what we're banking on, we might be surprised when we move forward and it's not what we think, or it's not there, or it's not reciprocated. But just because you are this very radiant and very virtuous person, not everybody else is. So I kind of feel like right now you're putting your trust in something being there for you. There's no guarantee. I'm not saying it's not going to be there. I'm saying it's not going to be what you thought. Okay? And so there might be some kind of it could be that you think you're arriving at the oasis. Turns out it's more of a swamp than an oasis. Okay? But if you're prepared ahead of time, then you say, well, it's kind of like you're going to a restaurant. It's like, I'm just gonna trust that I'll like the food. You know? And then you get there and you realize, oh, I can't eat this stuff. Well, no worries. I brought a, protein bar or something in my purse. Now, I'm not saying we have to be that mistrusting of everybody. But in this particular situation that you're in, I think that it's okay for you to try, because I feel like there's a red flag. I feel like there's some kind of intuition that's telling you, like, you might want to bring your own toothbrush or whatever, Don't just expect it. Don't expect what you need to be there. I think there's some kind of intuitive nudge here for you that's saying you might want to just make sure that you're taking care of you. And so I think you're justified in not fully trusting this other thing. It's a person, it's an entity, it's a situation, it's the restaurant, it's the place. Yeah. It's the Seven of Cups. It's okay for you to not trust that. And now, we don't want to be that way all the time, obviously, right? I don't want to have to bring a lunch everywhere I go just because, well, what if the restaurant doesn't have anything I can eat, But if we know that we're very particular in what we need, we can't go to a restaurant and demand that they cook us only what I'm allowed to eat. Say I'm on a very strict diet or something. I can't just go there and expect them. You go to somebody's house, and you can't just expect them to completely change the way they cook to accommodate you. And it's reasonable expectation. And so in any situation we're in, we have to think, is it reasonable for me to expect that there is something there for me that I need? It's like you're going to go stay at a hotel. You have a reasonable expectation that there should be toilet paper in the bathroom or towels, right? Or like a bed. And so if there's not, that's, you shouldn't have to bring your own bed to a hotel, right? But if you're going to your friend's house for dinner or, an acquaintance or something, and you don't know if they're going to have something that you're going to want to eat, it might be smart for you to have a backup plan, bring a little something in the car in case, Anyway, it's just preparation, I guess. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. It's a great way to support the channel. Yeah. Your general energy is the Two of Swords. I feel like you understand the reasonable expectations. You have a very thorough thought process. You're very smart. And I think that you tend to think things through. You tend to be able to take a situation and sort of extrapolate all the possibilities. What if I get there and there's no toilet paper? What if they don't have a bed? What if this hotel room, doesn't have a TV? Right? Should I bring my own entertainment? Should I bring my own food? Should I bring my own toilet paper? What if you need a very special kind of soap? I'm very picky about my shampoo and conditioner for my hair, And so if I'm really that concerned, I'm going to bring my own conditioner to the hotel because I don't trust that they're going to have exactly what I need, because they shouldn't be expected to. There's no reasonable expectation that they will know what Paul needs for his hair when I get to the hotel. It's absurd. So I think that you're able to kind of plan in that way. You have that kind of the ability to sort of calculate and reason and extrapolate, okay? But you also have the ability to feel. Now, this card is interesting because it shows not really that you're making a decision, but this is how you think about stuff. I think with the Two of Swords, you multiply your thoughts. You extrapolate out. 2 becomes 4, becomes 8, becomes 16, and whatever, 32, and 64, and 128. But then you also have the ability to stop and just feel. What am I feeling? What does my gut tell me about this situation? And I think your gut is telling you that this situation is not going to have everything that you need, so you better take care of you. Whether this is a friendship, whether this is a company, a business thing, something financial, whether this is like, I better bring my own conditioner, bring a sandwich or something, or I better bring a book. I can't expect this to be all entertaining. I might as well bring something to do, bring a crossword puzzle, right? Or maybe this is saying, hey, look, I don't know if my company is going to take care of me, so I better start saving some of my money now, or whatever, right? And I think that this is you really, this is you planning for your own future. And so you're very well equipped to make these kinds of calculations and to reason things out and extrapolate, but then to trust the gut, trust the intuition. And very often when I see the Seven of Cups, I think your gut's telling you something. You kind of have this weird feeling about the future, and it's kind of telling you maybe you should bring a snack. I feel like there's not going to be anything for me to eat. I'm going to bring my own toilet paper because I just got a funny feeling about this hotel, And so trust that, Virgo. Okay, trust that energy. The Two of Wands here in the environment and in the relationships, this is really about you taking control and being proactive and not just kind of sitting on my thumbs or sitting on your hands or whatever they say. And maybe don't sit on your thumbs. It's kind of a, resting on our laurels and just thinking, the universe will take care of me. Or they'll, everything's going to be okay. I feel like we need a kind of a balance between those things, right? Because, what if we just went with the flow? What if I just use this internal Wheel of Fortune and just said, everything's going to turn my way at some point? What if I just had blind faith where it said, I don't know anything about this hotel. I'm just going to bring the clothes that I have on and I'll deal with it when we get there. And then we get to the hotel and it's just like, okay, yeah, maybe they don't have a TV, they don't have toilet paper, they don't have a bed, they don't have any food that I can eat. Then what do we do? Then do we just sort of exist and just and trust that through a series of weird coincidences, I'll find something to eat will arrive, And so I think that's kind of very, almost very magical thinking, And I think we need a balance between that, like just blind faith. That's just assuming that I'll just stand here and something will happen that will lead me forward, and I'll just follow these breadcrumbs of synchronicities, and everything will be taken care of. I like that. I think that needs to be blended with the Two of Wands, this idea of I need to take control. I need to take responsibility. I can't say, well, the universe didn't provide, the hotel didn't provide the toilet paper. The hotel didn't provide the shampoo or conditioner I need for my hair. I've got to provide that. Okay? I think the universe helps people that help themselves. I think that we trust in God, but we tie our camel. And I think the combination of that kind of intense faith and trust in synchronicities and following the signs and believing that that things are going to turn in our favor, that there is some sort of karmic reward for life or having our virtue, if we follow our spiritual compass, that it will steer us in the right direction and somehow I'll arrive where I need to arrive. But then also, taking charge and saying I got to make good decisions. I've got to be proactive. I've got to be able to control my response to the universe. Or not even control my response, but I've got to go out there and make things happen rather than just waiting for something to happen and then I react to it. Okay, so I'd rather bring my own shampoo and not need it than to need it and not have it, right? So we're being a little bit preemptive, I think, especially when we get that intuitive nudge and we can kind of see into the future dimly and we think, something's funny about this hotel. I feel like I got to bring an extra pillow or something, I don't know why, it's got a funny feeling. I'm going to bring the pillow because I guarantee that if you don't, you're going to get there and you're going to think, I should have brought the pillow. Okay? So just trust in that. Just listen to that voice. And even if you get there and you say, I guess I don't need the pillow, right? Well, hang on to it anyway, because you never know. So the Two of Wands is our sense of control. Okay? Mars in Aries. This is you controlling what you can control, and the Wheel of Fortune is just life happens. The wheel turns and we can't do anything about it. Spirit doesn't need our approval. Spirit doesn't even really need our participation. Divine timing happens as it does. If we want to work with it, we can be co-creators. We can work in tandem with the Wheel of Fortune. And then things really start to work for us because, like, I trusted my gut. I brought my extra pillow, and now I'm just in the lap of luxury now because I've either got extra pillows or, like, I was right and they didn't have any pillows, but now I'm okay because I brought mine. So feels like it's trusting in that inner voice is really going to make things better for you, okay? But we have to also understand the flip side of things, that we don't control everything. And we cannot control everything. We cannot plan for everything. We cannot, if you're going to bring, I got to go into a hotel. I got to bring a bed, got to bring a pillow, got to bring a TV, got to bring something to eat, hair dryer, got to bring conditioner, shampoo. You might as well just stay home. Why go to a hotel if you're expecting them to not have anything? Is there even a building there? We can't kind of plan for everything. Some things we just have to say, I don't know, I'm just going to trust the process. So how do we find that balance between like over preparation and like under preparation, The Empress is in your fear, worry, concern. I think sometimes it's not easy for you to receive. I feel like you're very often with that Sun card, again, you're very often like kind of expending your energy or giving your resources, sharing your resources with everybody else. The Empress is the one that sort of feeds everybody. It's that pelican, right? That is mythically kind of tears open its own chest to feed everybody else from its life force. Okay. And I think that right now you need to protect your energy. You need to shore up your resources, gather, collect, store some of your resources. Make sure your cupboards are full because you have this intuitive tickle about something coming in the next few days that is not going to be what you thought it was. Either something's going to cost you more, something is going to, you're going to get there and you realize I can't eat anything. There's some unexpected bill that might be popping up, or there's some thing that you really, really want to buy maybe, right? And so something is telling you, something is whispering to you right now and telling you, save your resources. Don't let it all go. Keep some for yourself, okay? But I think self-care sometimes is difficult for you. And I do feel with that, the Queen of Pentacles, that this is like, you got to take care of yourself. You've got to make sure that your home is comfortable, that you have enough of what you need physically. Okay, make sure you've got enough to eat, make sure you got enough money, make sure you've got warm blankets and all that stuff. Like, make sure that you prepare for your physical well-being. Because you're busy caring for everybody else. But I think sometimes when you need something, not everybody is going to show up for you the way you show up for them. Okay? The Temperance card here at the end. This is now that kind of blending together of both that blind faith, that's saying, well, if I just do good deeds, the universe will take care of me. And on the other side of that, saying, I don't trust in anybody. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to prepare for everything. I'm going to over-prepare. I feel like this is the kind of blending of both worlds, where it's just like, I'm choosing to trust in the universe, but I also know that I can't trust everybody. I can't trust that people are going to show up for me the way I show up for them. Okay? And it doesn't matter how much of yourself you've poured into somebody else. They're under no obligation to return the favor, And maybe that's kind of what this card is. It's about you fortifying yourself and saying, I'm going to trust that they're going to return the favor, but if they don't, I'm not going to be surprised by that. I'm not going to be like devastated. I'm not going to be crushed by that. I'm going to know exactly how to respond. It's kind of like I am trusting that I'm going to go to work on Monday morning and my company's going to be there and I'm still going to have a seat at my desk, that I'm still going to have a job to do. But if somehow I go in Monday morning and they're not there anymore, or they tell me, you don't work here anymore, I'm not going to be crushed and devastated by that because I've already kind of like, I already know that I'm capable of dealing with that. You know? And so I feel like this is really about you taking ownership of your sovereignty, your well-being, and making sure that regardless of what happens, that you're going to be okay. Let's look at the mystery card. Hermit, probably, right? I imagine. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments. Here we go. Oh, look at that. 9 of Pentacles. Success. This is gain. This is you living in the lap of luxury. You're living lavish because you've prepared, because you said the future is uncertain. It's like somebody that says, I'm just going to spend all my money because you know what? Social Security will take care of me when I'm old, right? Yeah, just do it. Excuse me. I'm not trying to get political or anything here, but I feel like that's naive. So I feel like you want to be living large. You want to be in the lap of luxury. You want to have abundance in your life. So we're planning for that now. We're saying, look, I don't know, my job's not going to take care of me. My parents aren't going to take care of me. I'm not expecting anybody to take care of me. The universe will provide, yes, but I've got to go out there and sort of reap that harvest. You know, I've got to go out there and collect this harvest. It's out there. The universe is providing for us. I have perfect faith that the universe will provide. We've got to go out there and we've got to gather the harvest. Okay. So instead of the 7 of Cups, which is just like, oh my gosh, I have nothing, like I thought this was going to be paradise, but it's a swamp. This is not an oasis. I thought I had water. This is not water. This is vinegar, you know. I thought I had food, but this is just a rotten apple. Oh no, what am I going to do? This is saying I got all the apples I need because I planned for it ahead of time. So I feel like this is, you know, probably something to do with finances. And it might be saying you've got to take responsibility for your financial future because nobody's going to do that for you. There's a lot of abundance out there in the universe. We just have to go collect it. And this is that successful card of collecting, gathering. This is gain. This is progress. This is saying that you're not worried about the future. You're not worried about tomorrow because you know that if everything were to just be gone tomorrow, you would still be okay. Okay. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading as well. Please click on the link in the corner or the link in the video description. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.